is Cody Goodin. I'm a multidisciplinary artist living in Cincinnati, Ohio. I decided to start a new channel on YouTube to share my artistic adventure with all of you. If you're interested in coming along on my new adventures, I'm going to start off with just doing a vlog style video at first, but I will tell you what I'm all about. I started my life as a creative life, I should say, fresh out of college with a theater and fine art degree. I spent the last 30 years as a visual artist, doing a variety of different mediums. In the last, well, it's been longer than 30 years, I guess. It's been about 35. And for the last 30 years, I've focused a lot on soft sculpture and doll making as my primary form of expression. I've done painting, and I've done and do painting, and I do mixed media. I also do some digital collage and photography. But my first love has been sculpture. Up until recently, I haven't really had an opportunity to focus on my theater background. But because of this lovely pandemic, or this, time of isolation and quarantine that we're in, I have rediscovered my love of certain aspects of theater, and one of those is puppetry. And I thought, I'm a doll maker, do soft sculpture. Why not try my hand at puppetry? I've always wanted to. I've always loved puppetry. I think it's a very powerful storytelling medium with a lot of opportunities and variety of expressions and forms. And I don't know if what I'm going to do will necessarily be new, but I'm hoping that at least with my particular visual style and language that I can add something to the mix. So initially, my ideas have been, because I'm a solo performer, solo artist, I thought I'd at least start my puppetry adventure as a solo performer. And my interest is not in children or kid-related puppetry, but more as a theater experience for all ages, or predominantly more older children and adults, young adults, because I think there's a lot of issues in our world that we can talk about and explore, and I have a lot of questions and things that are important to me and how I would like to see our world be, and I want to explore these ideas through puppetry and storytelling. I have done a lot of this through my artwork, but it's the one thing about that is that it's a static thing that people just look at, and you can get a certain amount of information or feeling from it, but it's not the same as sitting down and watching a story unfold before you. So I'm hoping that this will take place through my work that I'm planning to do. Now, I'm a beginning puppeteer, so please know that I'm going to make mistakes along the way, but that's part of the learning process, and I'm really excited about that because I think it's something that makes us feel alive when we constantly learn and explore and push our creative boundaries in ways that we never thought we could or thought we should. And the thing that's held me back from pursuing this before now was the limitations I felt I had. I'm a visually impaired artist, so I don't drive. And so going to places and performing is a problem for people like me who can't get around as easily. I rely on mass transit or friends, and it's not always something that, you could depend on. So I've always had to try to find alternative ways of getting my work out there. And yes, we all love to sell our work. We want to make, my dream, as many artists' dream, is to be a full-time artist. But I've just found it really problematic And so I'm thinking, well, maybe there's other ways I can share my creativity and my vision and my hopes and dreams with all of you, and maybe inspire some of you who may not think you can do it, or like me, with not just the limitation of my vision, but also, I'm 61 years old, and here I'm starting something that most people start off, when they're in high school or college. And so I think I bring a different level of experience to this, and I'm looking to this as a way of growing as a person, growing as an artist. So I hope you're willing to follow along on my journey. I'm hoping to do two things: create video blogs or vlogs about my process and about how I approach my work, and also to show you finished pieces. When I get a story ready and I perform it and I practice and practice and practice and practice and get it into a video format, which is how I'm going to start off, I will definitely share that with you guys. And hopefully, like I said, we can learn together along the way. That's part of what I love. I love teaching. I love learning. And so hopefully I can teach you guys something, and maybe along the way you can teach me some new stuff. That's what it's all about, sharing and growing together. So thank you for your interest, and I will start off by giving you a kind of a brief overview of what I've been doing, show you my figurative work, because this is where my puppetry will probably draw most of its inspiration from, and we'll go from there. Thank you. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome back. So I wanted to give you guys a tour of some of the pieces that I've created recently, and like I said in the previous section, the direction that my puppetry is kind of going to go. So I have my pieces kind of stacked on my table here, so I will take you on a little tour so that you can see what I'm doing. Hold on just a second. Okay, so I guess I'm going to start off by showing you, I create very semi-primitive work, and they're all textile based. Guess I have to pull this so you can see a little better. This is like a little monster guy that I created. I've been working a lot with recycled fabrics and wool felt or wool blend felt, because I love working with felt. I think it's a really beautiful medium to work with. So there's one of the guys. Here's another one that I've been working with, and I think I have to turn this light off because it's a little too bright. There we go. So this is another guy. See if I can hold him out. Also done with felt and recycled fabrics and found objects. I create like little characters. One of the other things that's kind of different, not necessarily different, but that I like to do, is I put little crystals in each one of my pieces to kind of give it a soul or a life. I look at my figures as vessels that contain energy, and each one has an intention behind it of some sort. This one is the intent. It's a little one-eyed monster, and the intention behind this guy or girl, because you can make it either one you want, I guess, is that of love and transformation and loving yourself, no matter what the outside looks like. That it's always what's inside that counts, and your love and your compassion is like a butterfly. It's just ready to take flight and spread your beauty throughout the world. I also created this little steampunk monster, kind of done in pinks. I use lots of, like I said, found objects, buttons, and felt. I love this sort of weird pink faux fur that I got a scrap of. I order stuff, like grab bags of things and scrap bags. These are two pieces of a series called Star Beings, and they're based off of celestial bodies. This one is Dark Star, and I wanted it to sort of have that sort of the feeling of like a blazing sun, or like, like a mysterious star that's not necessarily visible by the naked eye. I don't really look at it as a black hole necessarily, but kind of in that same vein. This guy is called Nebula, and I just love the colors, and based off of some of the images of the nebulas that I've seen. Very cheerful, very bright energy. It reminds me of like this, just beautiful creative energy. And then I have another one of my little critters. He's a bunny called Winston. I guess I didn't show you guys, the backs of them, but also, made out of recycled fabrics. And another little guy. This is the Wild Man of Burnett Woods. Now, Burnett Woods is a park, a municipal park near where I live. And I started a series, back before the pandemic. I'll show you another one of my pieces of that series. This one is called The Spirit of Southview, and that's based off of the street where I live. I thought, well, I started off the series with wanting to create something that represented, the being or the energy or the spirit of place. And that's what the pieces are called, Spirits of Place. And it was to exemplify what I felt about, each place that I love or visit and how it affects me. So that's most of what I've got here at home. You can see this is a bit of my studio space here. I collect a lot of fun things that inspire me, lots of little toys. Somewhere down the road I'll give you a closer tour of everything, but this is one of my work tables where I do a lot of my design and sewing. So anyway, I will be right back so I can turn around so you can see who I am again. Welcome back. So there you have it. There's a brief tour of some of my work that I've been working on recently. I have another studio space away from home where some of my bigger pieces are, and I'll give you a tour of those. Also, once I can manage to get to my studio space, it's not air conditioned, so in the summers here it gets ungodly hot, and so I haven't been there for a little while. And unfortunately, my studio here at home has also been super hot, so I've been doing lots of research, not so much in the way of constructing things at the moment. I'm in the design stage, so I hopefully will be able to show you guys, my first puppet project coming up. And just to give you a little idea, they're going to be based off of the same style of the figures I just showed you. I love working with that sort of primitive looking style. I'm sure it'll develop over time, most likely. But that's what I love working with. I do work with clay as well. I have one clay-based piece, which I can show you here. There he is, or she. This piece is called The Seven Sisters, and it's based off of the star systems of the Pleiades. It's actually part of another series I've been working on called The Ancient Ones, and it's based off of ancient legends of the star system and how all the native indigenous peoples from around the world interpreted those objects they saw in the night sky. So as you may deduce, I'm very interested in mythology, native stories, indigenous stories, and hope to at some point pursue some of those ideas as well. But what I'm planning to do for my first few pieces, my first few puppetry performances or experiences, whatever you want to call them, are going to be based on some of my own writing. I have a few poems that I am actually wanting to bring to life, and I figure that way I can claim it's all my work, and I am hoping that everything I will produce will be at least be written by me or people that I know that would be willing to share their stories with me at some point down the road. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell, I guess. And hopefully you enjoyed the tour and getting to know me a little bit. And I look forward to inviting you into my creative space again so that you can see what I'm doing and take you along the process and the journey with me as I start working on my puppets. And I think it will be interesting. It'll be fun. It'll be enlightening for me. You know, like I said, a great big learning experience. I've got a big, huge learning curve, I think, because I've never done anything like this before. I've always dreamt of doing something like this, but just never, like I said before, felt confident enough to do it. But I thought, now that I have all the time in the world, why not? You know? And I think a lot of us are kind of in that boat. You know, this gave us time to really think about where we want our life to go. What do we want to do with what's, you know, our lives, and what makes us happy? What gives us passion to live and to keep moving and to keep, you know, moving forward. So I'm hoping that, as I said, we can share this journey together, and I will give you some more interesting things to see. I mean, the video thing is new for me too, so it's all new. So welcome, thank you, and I will see you again in the next episode. Oh, and before I forget, like I said, this is new. Please subscribe, just so I can start building, you know, an audience, and tell your friends about it to see if, you know, they'd be willing to just give me a shot. I mean, it couldn't hurt, right? We all share. I have knowledge about art materials. I've worked in the art materials industry for 30 plus years, so I know a lot about materials and processes, because I not only sold the stuff, but I also use it in my own work. I just really love art and the process of making art and the things that art are made with. So I think I've got a lot to offer people, you know, who are just wanting to learn too. So thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.